everybody. I'm Rebecca M. Carroll, and this is
Chad Majors.
Chad actually is in the field of financial advising.
Yeah. So I primarily work with individuals and small businesses on putting together financial plans and investment strategies for them to help reach their goals, essentially, whatever those financial goals could be.
And educators like myself who do college planning love people like Chad because there's a portion that we can't do. We're not financial advisors. So it is a wonderful mix to work with both of us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine was interesting because I was a bit of a pinball going through my college education. I started out in horticulture thinking I was going to do landscape design.
Oh.
And primarily because I got a scholarship. It's a random story, but just by some luck, I worked for Edwards Greenhouses in Boise.
Oh, I love that place. I just went the first time.
Yeah.
They had Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I worked there for 3 years. And inside of Edwards Greenhouse was a florist, John Carpenter and Carpenter's Custom Florist. And he was asked to go be an kind of a guest professor for some Oriental floral design or something like that. And he's asked me to tag along and help him. So I did. And anyways, he was kind of double booked into 2 different classes. And there was a little overlap between classes, I guess. And so left me in a class. And I was a 17-year-old kid, but I somehow finished it off. And the head of the department happened to be kind of checking out what was going on. And he offered me a scholarship, which isn't the normal way, but it worked.
Is there a normal way to get a scholarship? Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so that got my foot in the door. But really, I only did that for a year before I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Because that is hands-on.
Yeah.
That is very hands-on.
Yeah. And I liked it, but more than anything, it just was my way to get in, really.
Yeah.
But I went on and I changed my major several times, a lot of times between like a poli-sci and a pre-law deal. But eventually I finished in accounting. And I'd also bounced around to a couple different schools. Yeah, so it took me, this is also a little non-traditional. So I graduated high school in 1993.
Okay.
And I didn't finish with accounting, like a 4-year accounting, until 2000. So I took a long path, but I was switching around, and I did take years off for different endeavors. I went on a mission for my church.
Okay.
And also got married in the meantime and was working full time and going to school part time for some of this, and had bounced around to several different schools, but ended up finishing in Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona
well,
State.
That's not unusual to have a story like that. My own story is like that. People always assume that I went right to college, and I didn't. I actually was in a trade, and I loved it. I was a barber for 11 years. Well, I had my own shop for 11 years. I was a barber for 13 years total. And I'm very artistic, very hands-on, and that's why I was successful.
Right. I would say yes, I am. Yes and no. Okay. It's nice to be able to read balance sheets and financial statements and things along those lines. But I think for myself, the financial planning side in dealing with individuals and not doing books so much, I think that it gives me a good basis, but I'm not using it as much as I think a lot of people would think that I was. Honestly, I think a good background in math and statistics, but more importantly, psychology, which is interesting. The reason why is because so much of the financial planning, it really is emotional. And people tend to make poor financial decisions when it's based on emotion. And so I think a lot of my phone calls that I deal with or client issues aren't necessarily about what's the right path to do something. It's about, in financial planning and dealing with people's money goes up and it kind of goes up and down on the investment side. And you need to properly prepare and read your clients to handle those situations well. Oh, that's an excellent question. So this field has gotten more and more difficult to get into over the years, particularly because of the way the compensation works in the field. So it's really kind of hard, I would say, at least in my opinion, to start fresh. I think the best way to do it probably would be to shadow somebody. I will get a couple emails or calls from people every year, from college students asking me to come in and, for an apprenticeship or to come in and shadow me for a while, which I'm always happy to do. And, if you have to like people, and you have to be willing to, I think you have to have empathy, natural empathy. You have to work well with people, and you have to be assertive enough that you can deliver honest feedback, whether the client wants to hear it or not. And that's true of a lot of fields.